Okay. Well, we're excited about getting the season underway. It seems like it's been I think, a long fall camp for our guys. They're a very anxious football team. I like what they're all about. Their work ethic has been great through the conditioning phase of prior to spring ball, then summer conditioning and fall camp. Their work ethic has really been outstanding. I think Dak's done a great job in the weight room with the guys. I think we're a little stronger football team, and so they're anxious to get going and to display their talents and see where we're at. Obviously, the opening game is always a little bit of a mystery to everybody in terms of what you're all about, but I like the fact that we do have good talent, we do have good leadership. Hoping that'll play out throughout the course of the season. No, we'll update you at the end of the week on the status of everybody.
Coach, you mentioned the mystery of the first game. How do you prepare for a team that has a opposing coach just coaching his first FCS team in the state?
Well, you look at where he was at previously, and obviously James Madison, they did a great job there. So we've studied a lot of film from that end of it. You study a lot of Texas State film just to look at personnel, and so from that, you put together your game plans. But it is a little bit of a guessing game. Anytime a new coach comes in, doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to stay with what they've done in the past at the previous school, and so I'm sure there'll be a few surprises we'll have to adjust to on the field, but it's kind of what it is. I know Coach Withers is a coach that is very much a guy that zeroes in on all of the little fine points of being a good offensive team, defensive team, special teams. I think he's put together a very good staff, and you can obviously tell by what they were all about at James Madison in terms of their coaching staff. I think they've done a great job.
How is taking consistently with you in the spring now with them? Does that affect game prep at all? Do you guys change offensive signals? Do you stay away from what kind of precautions with it? And do you take on as
Yeah, obviously that's a little bit of a handicap when you lose someone that was directly involved in your operations here, and then is now the player personnel position there. He knows the ins and outs of what we're about, offensively, defensively, special teams. He had been with us for quite some time, and so you've got to look at that some, take that into consideration. We have done a few things. Whether it'll be enough, we'll find out. But obviously, it's a matter of your guys lining up and preparing to play really good football, not have a lot of breakdowns, play with tremendous energy, and if you do that, it's all you can ask your players, and I think if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance.
Coach, what do you want to see from Greg Winham on Saturday? Anything in particular?
Yeah, pass for a lot of touchdowns, run for a lot of touchdowns. That's obviously all kidding aside there. You want to see great composure from him. He should be a confident football player for us, and I'm sure he will be. He's played in 8 games this past season, and so it's not like he's starting fresh. He's an experienced player for us. He's been under a lot of pressure in some of the games that he's been in, and he's responded well. The players like him. He's shown good leadership from the quarterback position, so we expect that he'll handle that well.
Also, you've had, you've used two quarterbacks.
you talking about in the first game, all season, in general, the use of two quarterbacks? Usually you want to make sure that you have two ready to go and very well prepared. In this day and age, if you just look at the quarterback position, you know, if you get a starting quarterback for you and he goes through the season and is able to start every game and play every game, you got to consider yourself somewhat fortunate. You know, it doesn't happen all the time, and so you always got to be thinking ahead, getting guys prepared. So you have a second-team guy that can go in and win football games for you. That your third-team guy knows what he's doing and can operate efficiently at the position. So you just got to prepare more than one guy, and you've got to do that by trying to find ways to insert them in the ball games also. So are you sure of that 90 plays was the tops in college football?
Top last year was 86 on average.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you'd like to think your defense has something to say about that. Obviously, if your defense is playing really well, if you slow the game down as an offense on your side of it, it could be tough for any team to run 90 plays. I'm not saying that we are going to slow our offense down, but we've faced fast teams before, and so I don't see that as being a particular problem for us. We'll find out, but we've faced a lot of teams that play fast football, and you got to be ready in this day and age for that, because there's a lot of teams out there that claim they're the fastest.
The last team you faced that probably does. Everyone goes fast.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know when the last team it was that we faced that. I could give you a name, and I think that's probably right, but I'm probably wrong, so I'm not going to do it. But in this day and age, most everybody is trying to run some form of fast-paced offense. Now, they may at times slow it down during the game, and obviously even fast-paced teams try to, at point in times in the game, slow it down to where they can get you to where you're thinking fast football, and all of a sudden you're showing your blitzes and your stunts and those kind of things, and then they will try to check to another play, and so there's a mixture out there of what guys do with fast-paced offense, but it's all part of the game now. You got to be ready for it. If you're not ready for it, you're in trouble. We're always looking for better ways to do things, and so you know, I'm not one that thinks he's got all the answers. So I'm always searching. Our coordinators are always searching. We investigate other programs. We talk to other coaches directly. We send our coaches to other programs to personally view what they're doing, and so we're always looking for ways to upgrade what we're doing in every phase of the game. That's offense, defense, special teams. I think once you start to think that you've just got the answers, you're just a few moments away from being passed by, and so you want to continue to always strive to look at what's happening out there. How can you be better? How can you get better? What's your personnel? How does that fit into it? That will cause you to make some changes from year to year. So it's always a state of constant adjustment, and you know, I've always known that. I've always been willing to do that.
I guess, how do you make sure you do have the same people? What does it say about the program that I'm sure they've had offers at 10, 12 years, and
They have
decided to stay here?
Well, it probably says quite a bit about a lot of things. You know, obviously they feel Athens is a great place to be in terms of their their family, and I think they felt pretty good about the security of their position in terms of they're not always looking over their shoulder every time they make a call. And so, you start to add it up. We know each other's personalities very, very well. Jimmy and Tim are two guys that, have known forever, it seems like, and we know each other's personalities, and we're able to work together and understand understand one another and where we're coming from, and not having things be where they blow up on you. Obviously, we can have disagreements, which we do. We can, talk things through very strongly, which we do. But we know each other well enough that there's never any grudges held, and so the next day we come in, we're ready to go again as a team. So.
How nice is it to go into this first week with Greg, just getting used to the position to have four of your best players, two at running back with AJ and Poppy, and then two with Sebastian Smith and Jordan Reed at wide receiver to help them settle into that role and be leaders at those positions this year?
Yeah, yeah. We have really good athletes at a lot of positions, and obviously that's helpful to the quarterback. What's probably most helpful are guys up front, and how they play the game. So, we felt going into camp that we probably had a little more depth than we've had before, and we got a few guys banged up, but nothing that's going to keep anybody up front out for any extended period of time, and so we feel pretty good about the quarterback surrounding cast, and obviously they're going to have to perform at a high level. They do that. It's going to make Greg's job much easier.
How much is that playing time that he had last year? How much does that help relax him going into this first game?
Well, obviously, that should be huge for him. Having had that experience, being under the pressure of playing in key games, not just any game, but key games as we went through our schedule, and knowing that number one, it's not all about you at the quarterback position. You have a lot of people that can help you along the way and make plays. It's just a matter of not trying to take over a ball game yourself, and understand that, we want Greg to run the Ohio Bobcat offense, not necessarily Greg Wyndham's offense, and that's how it would be no matter who was the starting quarterback. They're part of what we're all about. We got certain things that can highlight Greg. We got things that can highlight other members of our offensive team, and it's just all got to work in unison. I think Greg certainly understands that.
You talk about, like working in unison, but how much leeway on the field do you give your players to kind of check the defense and see if you can audible to another play?
Well, we try to help them along as much as possible when they're out on the field, and so we'll do some checking. We'll send a good share of it in from the sidelines. The quarterback's got an awful lot to handle in terms of just going through his reads once the ball's snapped, and getting pre-reads before the ball snapped. But once you start putting on his plate the opportunity to audible out of anything into anything, that's a whole different system. And he'll have some ability to get himself out of a play that he doesn't like into a play that he likes. We'll be able to help him with that from the sideline calls as well.
In general, ballpark figure, what percentage of plays when you guys run offensively where the quarterback has to make some sort of read or option call during the course of that play, whether it's run pass or pitch handoff, just ballpark general figure, how often does the quarterback have to make a real-time decision in the course of a play like that?
I'd say more so than we probably have prior to this. And so, there's a lot of RPOs in the game of football anymore. Run pass options. It can be a run. You can pull it and throw it, and almost all schools now that run a fast-paced offense have some form of RPOs built into their system. So, there's I don't know about the percentage of times that will be there, but we have more than we've ever had before, where the quarterback can make some of those kind of decisions.
It's much more likely that when a play is called in, he'll have 2 or 3 things he can do on that play instead of this is the play, run this,
Yep.
do this.
Yep.
12th year, does it feel any different this year compared to last year? Maybe more confidence, just now that you have the fresh new group?
Every year prior to the start of the season, obviously, is an anxious moment for everybody. You're waiting to see. You can see your development in the off season. You can know that you have good athletes that are going to line up, but until they get out there and get it done, that's what everybody's waiting for. Quentin Poling peeked into the office here this morning just to say hello. He said it's game week, and he can't wait. He just wanted us to know that, and so, which is no surprise to me. He just loves the game of football. But we have a lot of those kind of guys on our football team, I think, that just love the game and can't wait to compete.
Coach, kind of shifting focus to your defense, can you kind of talk about the player that Terrell Basham has turned into with his time spent here, getting
Mhm.
into the Hendricks watch list, and
Mhm.
one step away from being the top sack leader in program history. So
Mhm.
can you kind of talk about the player he's become, but also how you hope that he can carry that front seven this year with Clinton?
Yeah. He's a very talented athlete, and he's gotten bigger and stronger through his time here, and so I think that increased strength and increased size and has kept every bit of his speed. That is gonna show, and he'll have a great year. That's what we're all counting on. I know that's what he's counting on. He had a great sophomore season. Last year. He had a good year, but I think he felt that maybe he could have been more productive, and so he's looking forward to the season and showing his ability. We got some guys that are surrounding him that are really good players, and so he's going to have his moments and opportunities to make big time plays.
Coach, with somewhat of a young secondary, who stepped up for you real big, and who expect to see making plays in the secondary coming Saturday?
Well, you look at our corner situation. 3 new corners will be in there, so those guys will be under the spotlight some. I think all 3 have talent, but this will be an opportunity for them to display that talent really under the gun. Torrin Davis is coming back as a safety for us. Had a great year last year, and he's kind of the guy that can stabilize that unit back there with his experience and his demeanor. He's got a great demeanor about him, and so you look at our secondary, and I think we'll have really good players, but they got to make sure that they're playing well as a unit. That'll be critical.
Also, you talk about having players like Quentin Poling, just loving the game in general. How does that kind of help the locker room, especially because you can have players that probably don't love the game, and that could possibly make for
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have too many of those that don't love the game. It's a rough game to play if you don't like it. But I think I understand what you're getting at, and that's the fact that the more guys you have like him, the more opportunity you have to have great leadership, guys that perform the way he does on the field. And then obviously that's got to carry off the field, and it's got to be in the locker room also. He was voted captain, so certainly has a lot of the players behind him in terms of his leadership ability. I think he's positioned to have a tremendous year. I think he's a great football player. He got taken out of part of the season last year with an injury, came back and displayed his ability, even though he was still hampered from that injury and was not full speed. Yet, his ability still showed on the football field. So he's just one of those kind of guys that's got the makeup that you look for all the way around. You never have to worry about getting him ready to play the game. He is always ready to take snaps.
Is there resentment, you think? It looked like he could have been MAC Defensive Player of the Year before he got injured.
Mhm.
I think was he second team last year.
Mhm.
Do you think that there's now this sense of, I am better than that, and let me prove you wrong?
Well, I don't know that he's out to try to prove anybody wrong. I think what he's all about is playing up to his ability, and he's got tremendous amount of confidence. And the thing that helps him, along with just having great athletic ability, is he's a very bright guy, and he diagnoses things extremely well on the football field, and so he's one of those guys that finds himself in the right place very much the majority of the time, and that enables him to make special plays. Then you put on top of that he has actually great athletic ability, and his ability then to diagnose things as well as he does makes him special.
How important is that front seven this week to, maybe get after the quarterback, kill the momentum that Texas State wants to build up, and maybe take some pressure off of that young secondary?
Yeah, their quarterback's able to run, and so obviously we got to make sure that we do stop the running game, and he's a part of that running game, and so the more you allow them to move the ball on the ground, the more opportunities they're going to have to throw the ball. And it's clear that he's an excellent thrower, but he's also a really, really good runner. And so we're going to have our hands full. And anytime you face a quarterback of this caliber, you just never know what's going to transpire. You just got to be on top of your game, not have mental breakdowns. Obviously, we got to have 11 guys playing the same defense and all going about reading their keys right and getting where they need to get. That's your best chance of stopping a talented team, let alone just a talented individual like a quarterback.
Would you rather them run at your experienced offensive or defensive front seven, or throw it at the guys that you think have the talent but are underrated in the secondary?
Give me that one again.
Would you rather them run the ball at your front seven, which has experience, or
Okay.
throw to your inexperienced secondary that you feel underrated?
Well, obviously, people are going to, when you go through a season, you're going to see plenty of both. You're going to see plenty of people that are going to try to run at you. You're going to see plenty of people that throw at you. So we've got to get good at both. So it really doesn't matter what they do. We're going to have to find ways to hold up and help one another out there, and in doing so, I think that'll make us a better team. I don't think we can just stand on the sideline and grit our teeth and hope they don't do this or don't do that. We've got to see some of that. Our players have got to learn from it, and we just got to get better once we see it, and not be the same player when we make a mistake the next go around. I'm sorry.
In talking to some of the guys last week, they said that Texas State likes to keep the same personnel on the field,
Uh-huh.
so the defense can't substitute. So how do you guys plan to, counteract that? Do you just run a base defense most of the time, or how do you guys work around that?
Well, if they keep the same personnel out there, then obviously their formations are not going to be too varied, and so that helps you a little bit. The reason for keeping the same personnel in is what you're saying, to run as many plays as you can run. It's my opinion that it's not how many plays you run, it's the plays you run, how good they are, and how good you operate those plays, and how functional they are, is what makes you good on the football field.
Any other questions, guys?
Any thoughts on being here you are. You've been coaching in the business 50 years, and you're still making history. Saturday's game will be the first ever between two teams with the mascot named Bobcats. The first Bobcat on Bobcat game ever in FBS football.
Will I be in the history books with that?
Yeah, you'll be one of the coaches in that game.
There's a line somewhere.
You ever marvel at the profession's ability to continually throw something new at you or something you haven't seen before? This is
Yeah.
kind of a funny little aside, but
Yeah, yeah.
every year, every week, it's
Yeah,
something.
there's always something in the game that comes up that makes it kind of intriguing a little bit as you go through the profession, you know, and you know, you just kind of flow with the punches on those kind of things, and understand that no matter what it is that's new and different, and you know, you just got to be the same in terms of your approach, and not get too excited about anything. I'm not going to get too excited that both teams are Bobcats, but I will acknowledge that, you know, and but there are a lot of things that do pop up that you know, you just gotta. I've learned in this business, you've got to be able to deal with a lot of things and not just overreact on too much. If you do, it's probably not going to be what you want things to be.
Very good. All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys. Okay. A lot of questions today, man. Yeah.
First week.